What is going on, everybody? My name is Mantruce, and today I look fucking ugly. Wait, that's not what I was supposed to start this video off with. Today I'm doing the second episode in my CSGO for Call of Duty players series. Come on, get in! Don't forget, if you enjoy this video, to drop a like, a comment, and subscribe. I missed my finger. So in the last episode, wait, what did I cover in the last episode? So, in the last episode, I covered recoil mechanics. Today we are going forward into episode/lesson 2, the logical follow-on, which is shooting techniques. Now, I'm going to cover the main shooting techniques that are used in Counter-Strike. I'm sure there will be some people who are more knowledgeable about the game than me, or just some douchebags who want to show me up, and they might mention that I'm doing shooting techniques wrong, or there are other ways of shooting your gun as well, and that's fair enough, but these are the main types of shooting in Counter-Strike. Let me point out that this tutorial is specifically for assault rifles, so you know, your M4, your silenced M4, and your AK. The FAMAS as well, but it's a bit of a funny one because the recoil pattern is kind of dodgy. You can use these techniques with other guns, but I'm trying to be as specific as possible. That was a pretty lengthy introduction. Let's not waste any more time and get right into the action. So in Call of Duty, there isn't that much variation on shooting techniques. Guns don't have too much recoil, and you generally fire the gun based on the type of shooting mechanic it has, i.e. if it's fully automatic, burst, or single shot. Just to point out quickly, I'm not saying that gun skill in Call of Duty isn't important and a huge skill that takes a lot of practice. That would obviously be a absolutely retarded thing to say. I'm just trying to compare the two, showing one and showing the other. But anyway, shooting techniques in Counter-Strike are quite a bit different to Call of Duty. So why don't we take a look? The first technique is kind of what I covered in my recoil mechanics video, and that is quite simply spraying. Spraying is where you fire your gun for an extended period and control the recoil on it. To do this effectively, you need to have a good knowledge of the recoil pattern of the gun you are using. That's because if you want to spray, you need to counteract that recoil pattern. As you can see on the screen now, I'm doing that with the silenced M4, the unsilenced M4, and the AK. That's all there really is to spraying. Learn the recoil pattern, counteract it. Again, I put a resource in the description box below that will help you out with that. Situations that you will be using spraying are close distances, near medium distances, and if there is a big group of people in front of you. You can also spray your gun moving when you run around a corner knowing someone is there, but keep in mind that this does hugely affect the recoil on your gun and makes it very unpredictable. The next technique is bursting. Bursting is kind of in between spraying and then the third technique, which is tapping. You essentially fire off a few bullets from your gun without having to control the recoil too much. In Counter-Strike, generally what you do all the time is aim for the head, and this is also the case when it comes to bursting. You aim for the head, start firing, and pull your gun down a bit. This means that you counteract the recoil and your bullets will most likely hit at head or upper chest level. Generally, the way bursting works, you only really want to do it for, say, 3 to 6 bullets max. I would say 3 to 5 is the most common. Situations where you're going to be bursting are medium distances, medium to long distances, and then in rarer circumstances where usually tapping would be more efficient, you might also do it in long distances. A specific note that I would like to add for a more situational play is, say a team has rushed and they're all funneling through a single area and you kind of have a vantage point on that. You might use burst to try and take down each member of the team as they come out. Some might say you're better off spraying, and I would agree. Sometimes I would even use tapping, but I thought that was worth pointing out as one of the ways that you can do things. And now the third technique is tapping. Now essentially what tapping is turning your fully automatic assault rifle into a single shot rifle. You use a single click of the mouse button to fire off one bullet at a time. This is the most accurate way to shoot. Generally when you're doing this, you're aiming for the head and only the head, unless you know someone is already damaged and you might just be trying to get some chip damage to completely finish them off. So like I just said, aim for the head, tap your mouse button. A side note that I mentioned in my previous video is that the AK has pretty much 100% accuracy on the first shot. It's also very accurate on the second shot, but for tapping you're only doing one, and you're going to utilize that pretty much 100% accuracy on the AK, and it's a very popular choice with professionals for that reason. This can be quite a difficult way to shoot because it requires a lot of dexterity with your mouse hand. You need to be able to track onto the enemy's head and keep like a very high amount of accuracy. The situations where you'll be doing this are usually just long distances, but you might also go for it at medium distances. Leading on from the difficulty of this method of shooting, I'm going to tell you a little technique that all the Counter-Strike people use to make this a bit easier, and that is side sidestep shooting. So if you remember in my first video in Counter-Strike, you only have 100% accuracy within the recoil pattern for the gun if you're standing still. So if you want to spray, burst, or tap effectively, you essentially need to be standing still. This is problematic for tapping because it means you have to aim almost completely with the mouse. Sidestep shooting alleviates some of the difficulty of tapping because it allows you to move in between your shots. Essentially what you do is strafe to one side, stop and take a shot, and then strafe to the other side, stop and take a shot, and repeat that process. This not only means that you don't only have to aim with your mouse, as the movement on the keyboard will give you a small bit of extra aim, but also means that you are a harder target to hit. Sidestep shooting is pretty much an essential technique, and I would encourage you all watching to try it out in deathmatch. In fact, you should practice all of these in deathmatch. To conclude this video, here are the 4 things that you should be taking away and going to practice yourself: spraying, bursting, tapping, and then finally sidestep shooting. I hope this video is helpful and that you've all enjoyed it, and I will see you all later in the week for more content.